Well, they're still quite young, that's the first thing, but the other problem is that the bees haven't found the blossoms. There must be a transfer of pollen from male flower to the female flower to the stigma of the female flower in order to that the little embryonic squash will enlarge. So in the absence of bees, we've got to do this ourselves if we want the squash. You see the difference between the two blossoms. The male simply has a stalk in back of the flower, in back of the sepals and petals, and in back of the petals of the female flower you just have the little tiny young, essentially it's a squash embryo. Mm-hmm. And even though this is a rather immature male blossom, I've broken back the petals so you can see the anthers exposed, the yellow anthers, and they have orange pollen on them. And it's simply a matter of transferring that pollen from those anthers over to the stigma of the female flower. And then they're only open for one day, so that at about noontime or a little after, this blossom will simply start to wilt and it will fold over, and in doing so will keep that chamber in there humid, and the pollen grains will germinate and go down and pollinate, fertilize the embryo of that squash.
You have to do that for each blossom on the plant?
Yes, you have to find blossoms that are open. You have to see a female blossom that is open. This has to be done early in the morning, and a male blossom that is open, and they're only open for one day.
Are there equal number of male and female blossoms on a plant?
Not usually. Usually, the male blossoms come first. There'll be 2 or 3 first. Now, one of the problems with one of these plants is that it's already put out quite a few little female blossoms, but no male blossoms. And squash does this sometimes in hot weather.
Well, what I don't understand is, would the male blossom open at the same time the female blossom opens, if you have to catch them when they're open?
That's right. There are male and female blossoms open the same day, usually on the same plants, but often you have to find them on 2 different plants, 2 or 3 different plants, in order to get them both open.
Do we not have enough bees in this area?
There's enough bees, but very often the plants are so small, or the leaves cover up the blossoms, and the bees simply don't find them. But there's quite a few wild bees around. We know there are because there are just 1 million of them on the golden rain tree and other flowers that are in blossom. So they're around. They just haven't found the squash, that's all.
What are the problems with growing squash?
Well, the main problem is this little rascal we've got right here on this leaf. It's the squash bug. This is the adult right here. I'll try to hold him still.
Here, can I help?
Yeah, I'll just hold that rascal still. Anyway, you get the idea. It's a great big 1/2 to 3/4 inch long bug, and there are groups of them laying eggs on the undersides of the leaves. I haven't found an egg mass yet, but there's going to be, since they're around. Now, the best way when you find a couple of those is to squash them. Just step on them. Get them off the plants and step on them. And then if you find a good many more, and especially young ones, we don't see any young ones yet. The young ones are very tiny, and they're not black. They're usually gray or white, and they have black legs, so they look like little spiders, little white-gray spiders with black legs. And at that young stage is when you can apply the 7 insecticide and kill them. These adults are very resistant to the insecticide, very difficult to kill with usually impossible to kill with the insecticide.
What kind of damage do they do?
They will suck the juices from the undersides of the leaves, from the developing blossoms and the young squash, and they generally put a great moisture stress on the plant. They simply sap the juices from the plant and cause a stunting.
When should we expect to see squash on these plants?
Well,
after you pollinate them?
After they're crossed, in about 3 to 4 days. Well, just the day or two after the pollination is complete, you'll see the little squash start to enlarge, and it'll be ready to pick in about 3 or 4 days.
Oh, we'll look at it next week then, okay?
Right.
All right, let's pause for this announcement then. I'll be back right after this.